What's up, everybody? Welcome to iOS 3 Raw TV. Well, today this video is a video that I wish I didn't have to make, to be totally honest with you. Anyways, throughout the years, there are things that I've brought up, things that I've said that I've been mocked for, made fun of, laughed at, and been actually called names and stuff like that. One of the things that I've said throughout the years, this is about 5 or 6 years ago, as I said, there was more cancer now more people die of cancer now than when I was a kid, and it's exponentially going up over time. Like, you can see how it goes up. And I theorized that it had to do with our, of course, food supply, pollution, external factors, environment, etc. But there had to be a lot of things going on right now for cancer to be on the rise like it has. And one of the stupidest fucking explanations I've ever seen in my life about anything, which this is where logic has gone out the window and where you can be brainwashed, is this would be something that medical professionals would tell you. They would say, well, the reason why we have more cases now and more people are dying is that we have better ways to diagnose. So therefore, we now know earlier that there's more cancer out there, and that's why we have more cases and more deaths. Nothing could be fucking stupider than that statement. And I don't give a fuck who you are. All right? Logic is going out the window. Here's the logic behind that. When I was a kid, they didn't have ways to test like they do now. Therefore, if someone had cancer and they didn't get it on a test, the cancer just magically went away because they couldn't test for it. No, the fucking person died anyways. It doesn't make any sense that they're like, we have a test now, so basically the test shows us, but when we were younger, we didn't have the test, so basically the cancer just went away because we didn't have the test. No, people still died of the cancer, and what happened was they found out after they died. So eventually you found out how many people died of cancer. So those numbers were there. It's not because we have better ways of diagnosing, it's because more fucking people are dying of cancer now. Now, for me, the food supply was a big thing because the more I delved into it, the more research, the more I found things like glyphosate, which is that Roundup shit made by Monsanto. And now they literally have advertisements on TV because they get their pantsuit off, because that stuff does cause blood cancer and other type of lymphomas and all kinds of shit. And that stuff is in so many foods, guys. If you look it up, you'd be shocked. Now, the problem is, some people are like, well, Jerry, there's not enough of it in the food to affect. Listen, the food supply, on top of the things that you put on your skin, like the lotions, on top of the things that you plug in and the different air fresheners that you use that are scented, fragrances, all of these things have major carcinogens in them. And when you start combining them, now it's not just one thing in your life that has carcinogen that your body can fight off. It's multiple things coming from multiple directions, and eventually your body can't handle it and you develop fucking cancer. That is how that works. And I know it's a hard concept to grasp because you think of something like an air freshener as something completely benign, doesn't affect you, like it's not a big deal. But it's not the air freshener by itself. It's the air freshener with the food supply, with the pollution, with the soaps, with the lotions, with everything, right? BPA from drinking the bottles, the water in the bottles, and the plastic bottles, all of it combined is what does it. But the food supply, as of April 1st, and I had to actually check this over and over again because I was like, this might be April Fool's. But this actually comes from the New York Post, or the New York Times. New York Times, the New York Post. I believe it's the New York Post that posted this. Anyways, if you Google it, it's all over the place as of yesterday. So 1,200 chemicals were found in foods. Check this out. 12,000 foods it was found in. 2 chemicals found in many popular processed pantry foods have been linked to lower immune function in a new study. Lower immune function, what does that mean? It means your immune system doesn't function properly, which means that cancer is technically a malfunction of the immune system and your body can't fight the cancer cells. So if you have a compromised immune system, cancer is something, sure as shit, that could take over and you could get. Pay attention to what this is, right? Junk food fiends may have more to worry about than ballooning waistline. Chemical preservatives, which I said preservatives. People didn't fucking listen. You're so fucking stupid. And here we have the actual study. I wonder what the science people would say about this now, and the IFOMers would say about this, because wait till you see what this talks about. Chemical preservatives and additives found in many popular processed foods may be undermining snackers' immune systems, according to a new study. 2 compounds, tert butylhydroquin, TBHQ, and per or PFAS, have been identified in more than 1,200 foods sold in the U.S. I guarantee you're eating one of these 1,200 foods because there's such basic shit that like people, anyways. TBHQ is a preservative and can be found in well-known brand foods, including Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. You fucking idiots out there eating your Pop-Tarts fucking before your workouts and after your workouts. Yeah, it's found in Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, Cheez-Its. PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, because they survive indefinitely, are often used to create non-stick lining and packaging such as aluminum cans, pizza boxes, popcorn bags, and leach into the food contained in the package, according to the Environmental Working Group, whose findings were published in the Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health on March 24th, 2021. This year, 2021, have now had published studies and data links to exactly what the fuck I was talking about 5 or 6 years ago. It drives me fucking nuts because logic dictates that this was what was going on. But until these papers came out with these data, with this data and these studies that these fucking professionals or scientists or whatever, until they put it out there, you don't believe it. Well, it's in the New York Post, which is mainstream media, okay, and it's been published. It's in fucking journals now. So don't give me none of your shit about it. You can do with it whatever you want. You have free will. I don't give a shit what you do. But the bottom line is there's a lot of people out there, if they know this information, they won't consume these products, okay? They're trying to take care of themselves. Anybody who's ever seen anyone die of cancer knows it's an absolutely fucking horrible death and will want to avoid that by any fucking means necessary. Okay? That's just common sense. But I mean, again, common sense has been out the window for a long time. Researchers for the EWG based their assessment on data compiled by Environmental Protection Agency's toxicity forecaster, aka ToxCast. The data show that TBHQ, which has been used to extend shelf life of processed foods for decades, may impair the immune system based on animal as well in vitro testing and in human testing. Now here's the one that's a kick in the face. In a statement, Dr. Olga Nadikenko, EWG's Vice President for Science Investigations, suggested that poor diets may have contributed to the severity of the coronavirus outbreak. The pandemic has focused public and scientific attention on environmental factors that can impact the immune system, said Nadikenko, who led the study. Before the pandemic, chemicals that may harm the immune system's defense against infection or cancer did not receive sufficient attention from public agencies. To protect public health, this must change. Previous studies have indicated that TBHQ could diminish the efficiency of flu vaccines. Interesting, right? Flu vaccines. I wonder what it does to the coronavirus vaccine. Anyways, flu vaccines, and also may promote food allergies. How many people now have food allergies? Anyways, that have developed food allergies suddenly. Like their body chemistry suddenly changed so dramatically they can't. Anyways, all this stuff starting to make sense now, and they're putting it together and they're reporting on it. Doctors and scientists are fucking reporting on it. The mainstream media is reporting on it. This is fucking real. It's what I told you 5 or 6 years ago, and I was a conspiracy theorist. I was a fucking idiot. I was Jerry the stupid junkie. I was everything except somebody that had their finger on what the fuck was going on, because I was observing and using logic and researching on my own, but it doesn't matter. The point is it's coming out. This could help explain why food allergy prevalence has increased by 50% between 1997 and 2011, according to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. There have also been studies to suggest that PFAS suppress immune function, including a report published in PLOS One last December that found published in PLOS One last December that found an association between people with high levels of these substances in their blood and increased COVID-19 severity. So if you were eating these fucking foods and it fucked with your immune system and you got COVID, you were worse off for eating these fucking foods. And on top of it, all the healthy foods and places were closed down. So you had to go to the supermarket. No, don't get me wrong, you had a choice. How many people went to the supermarket, Netflix, wine, Cheez-Its, and all kinds of random crazy bullshit, and they gained, because don't forget, it's not just in Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts. This stuff is in food, fast food that you get too. So all those foods that you were eating during the coronavirus that were comfort foods or fun foods or whatever the case that helped you put on 20 pounds made it more likely that you would suffer severe side effects from coronavirus. All right? This is mainstream media and this is being published, okay? It drives me fucking nuts. The results reflect that of similar study in 2013, which determined that children who are exposed to high levels of PFAS in utero produce fewer disease antibodies following pediatric vaccinations. So by consuming these fucking foods, and it was happening to little babies in the uterus already, which means it doesn't have to be a lot, you can fuck up your immune system to the point where you don't have antibodies to fight flus, whatever ailments and viruses come along, not just COVID. So think about it, right? Of the more than 4,700 unique PFAS identified in manufacturing, very few have been studied for long-term health effects. In 2019, the EPA announced a research initiative to better understand the PFAS following studies that link them to cancer, thyroid disease, immune suppression, decreased fertility, and low birth weight. Study authors point out that animal and in vitro studies are not always consistent with human studies, as well as the case with ToxCast data and call for further research to learn more about how these chemicals interact with our immune system. So they already made the link, okay? But now they're like, we don't even really know what they do, so we need to study it more. But we found a link. Found a link means that there's evidence that is replicated over and over again, multiple times, that can be grouped into one group that says this happens over and over again. It can be replicated. This is what's happening. Now we need to study why it's happening. So regardless of why your immune system is fucked up, regardless of why these things take place and you get cancer, it doesn't matter. The fact that it's happening is the take-home message here. It says, these findings are not yet evidence enough for the FDA to enact stricter limits. Think about that. Think about that. They have links. They have said that they absolutely have data that shows you get worse off COVID symptoms if you're eating this shit, and the FDA still says there's not enough evidence. Well, last time I checked, there wasn't enough evidence to say whether or not we could release the vaccine, but we did. There's no evidence saying that it's fucking safe, but we released it. Emergency this, emergency that. Why isn't there emergency authorization to start cutting this shit out of food so people don't get fucking sick? Like, until we figure it out, right? Because we haven't really figured out how the vaccine works or how to make it or whatever, but until we do, we need to put it out there to help people. So until we figure out how this shit affects people and their foods, why don't you ban it for now, right? Let the fucking shelf, the foods fucking rot on the shelves if you have to, but save lives. Just say, hey, here's the deal. We don't put this chemical in anymore, so instead of eating it within 20 days, eat it within 5. I mean, I know it's a fucking crazy concept to try to save people's lives. I know it's fucking stupid, right? Food manufacturers have no incentive to change their formulas, said Scott Fiber, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs at EWG. Too often, the FDA allows the food and chemical industry to determine which ingredients are safe for consumption. Our research shows how important it is the FDA take a second look at these ingredients and test all food chemicals for safety. The FDA does not test chemicals that they put in your food for safety. They rely on the companies to be honest about it. They rely on the companies, Scout's honor, to be honest about what they're putting in food. Meanwhile, scientists and doctors are finding links. They're having data, they're having studies showing what's going on, but the FDA still trusts these companies. Awesome. That makes me feel so much better that they're like, oh, there's not enough evidence. Listen, I'm telling you right now, all the things that I've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 years, how cancer's been an increase, that is plenty of evidence. There is fucking so much less evidence for certain things that don't make it through the FDA process. And they say, wow, they know there's not even the mountain of evidence that we have like we have now. Like there's plenty of evidence out there. Plenty of people have been studying this. It's frustrating and it's dumbfounding. How can this be happening, right? This is America, land of the free, home of the brave. This is where we should have the best of the best, right? We have the best foods, we have the best technology, we have all the best of everything. And we're poisoning our people through their food so we can have a few extra days on the shelf. That's why we're doing it, right? We're poisoning people because we can. And it's crazy because, like I said, look up the stuff in the foods, which this one, mainstream media, New York Post, and if you look it up today, there's a fucking ton of places that are reporting it. Like it's not just this far out, crazy, conspiracy whacked out shit that I'm talking about. This is the mainstream media talking about with real scientists, real data right here. Look up fragrance, right? Just the word fragrance, what it is. Look up fragrance. Look up carcinogens in the air fresheners. Things for the outlets, things for your cars. Look that up. Look carcinogens in soaps, carcinogens in lotions, carcinogens in you name it, right? Carcinogens all around us. And think about how much you're putting in your body that is considered a carcinogen and could develop cancer or more likely to develop cancer than not by putting all these things in your body. It's fucking crazy. Like I shake my head because I'm like, there are a lot of people out there that didn't have to die. A lot of people. And you guys know my grandmother died of cancer. My father died of cancer. My mom has stage 4 cancer right now, terminal cancer. Truly, I'm not going to say all of them didn't have to have it and, get sick. But what if? What if they didn't have to be sick? What if dad didn't get sick from cancer because of all the random shit with the foods, the soaps, the fucking everything that was going in his body? What if he didn't have to get cancer and die and could be here right now to watch this video and watch his son pick apart the shit for the last 5 to 6 years and be fucking shown to be right today. To me, that'd be everything. So take it for what it is, guys. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm tired of fucking trying to convince people. I don't give a flying shit. You got free will. Fucking drink all the fucking random chemicals that you want. Put all the shit in your body. I don't give a fuck. But some of you right now need to hear this. Some of you right now want to hear this. Some of you right now have been looking for this because you knew something was up. Like something tells you in the back of your head that something is not right. Something is going on, but you just don't have the proof, right? You always know that something just seems off. Like something is not right. But you know, this is what the mainstream says. This is what the doctors say. This is what you're observing sometimes is not what jives with the mainstream. Sometimes what you see, what you observe, and what's happening in your life, you need to stop and pay attention to it. You need to think for yourself. The one thing I've been trying to do my entire career on YouTube and social media in general is to get you to think for yourself. Think outside the box. Think for yourself. Don't follow the crowd and don't listen to people that have an agenda. I have zero agenda except to get information out. So don't take my word for it. Please don't. Go out there, do the research for yourself. You can even Google, scientists, studies show 1,200 different foods contain chemicals that may cause cancer. Like, just Google that, right? That's all I did when I saw the headline. I said, this can't be a real headline. I Googled it and found all the other news sources. I was like, holy shit, it's real. All you have to do is Google it and start digging. You'll find the information that I found that I've already known for years, that I wish I didn't have to make this video. But if one person listens to this sounds cliche, but if one person listens to this or watches this video and says, you know, I'm going to change my life. I'm not putting this shit in my body anymore. I'm not putting this shit in my kid's body. I'm not putting this shit in my I'm not washing my clothes in this fucking weird soaps and shit anymore. I understand what fragrance is. I don't wear colognes. I haven't worn a cologne in 5 years or something like that. All these expensive colognes that I bought, when I realized what is in those fucking colognes and you're putting it on your skin and your body's soaking it in. Like, once I realized these things, I started stepping back, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like $1 million. At 45 years old, I feel like I'm 20 years old. I live a lot healthier lifestyle. I live a lot more natural lifestyle. But the bottom line is I'm aware of the things that were affecting me and making me sick, making me get sick, making me have these viruses, making my body not be able to fight stuff off. And I can tell you right now, living the lifestyle that I do now, feeling the way I do now, I wish all of you could experience it. I really do. Because it would absolutely make up your mind instantly about what's going on out there. And when you open your eyes and you're aware, that's where you're dangerous. BobStreetTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. Don't fight. BobStreetTraining.com is a blog. It's to go check it out for yourself, Bicep. And we are out.